In Chicago, students, parents, and teachers have been rallying to prevent the city from closing nearly 20 so-called failing schools. Despite the public outcry, the Board of Education voted to approve the school closings. The vast majority of the hundreds that took part in the public comment period blasted the city's plans to close the 17 schools that serve Black and Latino students in some of Chicago's poorest neighborhoods. 10 of the schools would go through what's known as a turnaround. Teachers, staff, and principals would be fired, and management turned over to a private nonprofit company. Parents and community members elected to their local school councils would be shut out of the decision-making process at those schools. Many, including teacher Katie Osgood, accused education officials of chronically underfunding the schools they now say are failing and need to be closed.
In order to succeed, these kids need the most resources, but instead CPS gives them the least. And I urge the board today to fully resource every neighborhood school, and I guarantee we'll never have to close a school again.
Despite the opposition, Chicago's unelected school board voted unanimously to close all 17 schools.
7-0, 7 ayes, 0 nays.
Brushing aside public criticism, Board Vice President Jesse Ruiz defended their decision.
I mean, there's been a record of these schools not performing and not serving our students as well as they should for years, and that's unfortunate. And it's also unfortunate there are more schools like them. I mean, the worst thing I felt bad about today is that we couldn't do this for more kids today. It was an opportunity to do something for those kids. It was an opportunity.
The vast majority of teachers and parents left the hearing after the public comment period with the belief the board had already decided to vote in favor of the closings. The handful of remaining parents and activists reacted immediately after the vote.
Shame on you! 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 Shame on
Latrice Watkins, chair of the local school council at Piccolo Elementary, organized her community to fight their school's closing. Parents who occupied the school overnight Friday demanded the school board consider the community's proposal for improving their school, which includes hiring additional social workers and allowing the current principal, who was hired in July, more time to raise student achievement. They also proposed regular meetings with public school officials and additional instructors and resources. Watkins said despite their best efforts, the community's voice was ignored.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I don't understand. I do not understand. We trying to work with them, but they giving us the boot every time. And whatever they sow, they gonna reap. That's all I have to say. They know what they doing, and they know it's wrong. They gonna reap what they sow.
In Piccolo and 9 other schools, all the teachers, staff, and principals will be fired. The administration of the school will be handed over to the nonprofit group Academy of Urban School Leadership, or AUSL, which has close ties to the Chicago School Board. The board's decision means Marquette public school teacher Angela Dillon will be out of a job in the fall. She says the Chicago public school system did not provide the resources for her students to succeed.
And what is really sad is that the board is going to promise AUSL $15 million to pump into Marquette next year, and they won't give us the money now. They're going to make us drown for 6 more months and not service our students who need social workers and teachers, who need security guards and resources and help for our students. It's not fair.
Since No Child Left Behind was passed in 2002, protests at school closings in large urban school districts like Chicago have grown. And it's not just people directly affected by the cuts who have vocally opposed them. Erica Clark's children attend Jones and Northside, 2 successful schools in white middle-class neighborhoods that are not on the closed-down list. Clark said she spoke at the hearings to express solidarity with the low-income communities of color affected by the closings.
Clearly communities that don't have the clout and don't have the ear of the mayor or the ear of the board or of the head of the district, they've been completely ignored, completely shut out of any kind of conversation about how to improve their schools. But I think they know, just like the parents at my kids' schools know, that the best decision makers for kids are the parents, and in the schools, the teachers and the people, the members of the community. I mean, we all know best what's best for our kids, what our kids need, and they should be listening to us.
Civil rights and education advocates have vowed to fight Chicago Public Schools' decision. Civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson says the policies of Chicago Public Schools have resulted in a two-tier education system, one that provides adequate resources for white students and another that does not provide enough support for students of color.
Yeah, we want equal protection for all of our children. We want to end patterns of segregation. North side, 160 schools that do not have a library. 140 are south of North Avenue. It's unfair. 25% black teachers, 50% targeted for layoff. It is not fair. There's not a fair distribution of resources and people and teachers, and they're closing schools without touching base with the people appropriately. There'll be protests until it changes.
The Chicago Teachers Union and local school council have filed a lawsuit challenging the closings, and a bill introduced in the Illinois state legislature would place a moratorium on the policy of closing schools. Reporting for the Real News Network, this is Jessel Noor in Chicago.
We who believe in education.